So if I were to find some of that Mizunara,
You go up and cut a tree down. And
right? Can I just put that in a tank and let it mature? Maybe bubble it through some air and.
I think technically that's not really maturation. I think that would, the other thing is the drying out of the wood. 2 years we dry it out. So
Right.
out in open air.
So
we have a
the
very
barrel
strict
season,
policy
the
for
season.
even the Spanish cats. It's been cats that have the staves that have from the bodega after they've been seasoned for 2 years comes back to Japan and sits out for 2 more years.
So you're dealing with all kinds of oaks. Then you must be dealing with charred American oak, of course.
Yeah, pre-used bourbons. Yeah,
Toasted sherry butts.
We prefer to say toasted.
Right.
We don't really char as much as some of them, but and then we also use American oak. That is new oak.
Okay.
We use the sherry cask Oloroso that we actually harvest ourselves outside of Bilbao, and then give it to the bodegas.
They do their sherry.
They do the sherry, and actually we have a unique relationship because sherry's no longer really a demand anymore. So a lot of companies, we are lucky that we have and have made a good relationship with some of these sherry companies. We actually pay them to make the sherry so that we can have our barrels, which is quite expensive.
And it's a bit crazy, but
it's not crazy because we want good whiskey. So it's not crazy to us.
Speaking of good whiskey, Gardner, should we taste the 18?
Okay. The 12-year-old, we really focus on the bourbon, the casks. So a large percentage of the 12-year is bourbon casks. A little bit of the Mizunara and a little bit of the sherry Oloroso casks.
Okay.
Depending on, every year is different, depending on the blender. We have 5 master blenders that work side by side every day and try 300 whiskeys to 250 whiskeys a day. So very disciplined. And actually, Mr. Kojimitsu-san actually eats the same lunch for 22 years, udon tempura, every year, every day that he works to make sure that his palate is the same.
Well, you won't find that dedication everywhere. It's quite amazing.
Yeah, and just to tell you, in 22 years, the chef has not been the same chef. So he gets quite irate when the chef leaves or retires because his food tastes different.
Yeah.
So he gets quite upset when his food tastes different, and then he has to adjust. But very, very disciplined on how these guys deal with their whiskey and how they take this as an art.
Well, obviously it translates into wonderful whiskeys.
Yeah. The Yamazaki 18, the difference between the 12 and the 18, which is very special, is not just 6 years older, but we wanted to go for the bourbon cask and the American oak, the vanilla.
For the 12. Right?
Yeah. And the things that you get from the American bourbon cask and new oak. But what we wanted to do with this one was really go sherry. So we switched the recipes in a layman's terms, but we really wanted to go more sherry driven over this one.
Oh, this is
you can tell the color is completely different.
Yeah.
You get chocolate, a little bit more peat. Really wonderful whiskey.
It smells absolutely wonderful. But you're right, when Hakushu was very crisp and fresh, this is deep. This is baking notes.
Baking spices. This is
some smoke just there in the background.
We do use peat, but peated barley. We don't use. In Japan, actually, has peat,
right?
But very small amounts. There's one out of the distiller that's trying to use it. But what we do is we order back on the maltsters. We order heavily peated barley,
right?
And then we produce it. And then we put it in our barrels, and then the blenders uses that to add a texture and depth to the whiskey. So we each one of these has peat in it, but very small amounts. And I think the most, we actually, as I was saying, we do launch in the distillery heavily peated Yamazaki, heavily peated Hakushu, but you have to catch it when they produce it, and then it's gone. But We do like heavily peated whiskey as well, but we really, I think, you know, to really emphasize, Suntory whiskey was really meant to to be subtle, refined, yet complex. You can actually just have whiskey and soda,
Right.
An old highball.
Right.
They're really good if they're made properly, and it's nice to have a couple during dinner. So usually when you go and eat in Japan, you start off with beer, then a highball, and then whiskey neat. Yeah.
Yeah. They like their drinking.
They like their drinking, they really do, but they somehow they're still at work at 7 in the morning.
Right.
The reason why Suntory actually has 12 pot stills, and each one of them is, well, they're by sets, so 6, you know, 6 and 6. But and why we use 5 different size casks: barrel, hogshead, puncheon, Mizunara, and sherry. Why we use that is because we couldn't go next door to this, you know, the distillery down the street. Whereas still to this day, I mean, I need to borrow a couple casks from you.
In
You know,
Scotland,
it's
they do that
you know,
quite
it's
a
a
bit,
wonderful thing. You know, it's made for great whiskey. It's made for, you know, innovation. We didn't have that luxury. So, I mean, if you think about it, we can make almost 130 styles of whiskey.
Because of all of these different stills, because of those
12
barrels?
different pot stills, 5 different sized barrels, and 3 different oaks. Just to make it more complicated. I
Heavily
mean,
peated, not peated, barely peated.
puncheon barrels. I mean, you know, we also release single releases and stuff like that. But we really wanted to be able to make as many different styles of whiskeys for the master blenders.
So really, this is the art of Japanese whiskey is really the art of blending then.
It really is about.
What is it that we don't know yet that will be revealed in a few years? Meaning, is there are there lots of ex-Bordeaux wine barrels that are shipped to Japan, and right now there are some experiments? Is there I don't know.
They're always experimenting. Sometimes they don't let me know.
What can you reveal today?
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's ever going to be used. I tried one that was in cedar. They put cedar butts onto it. It actually had a wonderful cigar, like you would smell a cigar, you know, box. That was amazing. And I think actually they might use just a teeny bit of it in one of their blends that's over there. Suntory is the father of blending in Japanese whiskey. His son followed after him. Now to this date, each one, the way that this is still privately owned company and is passed down through all of the Tories. So you have to be a Tory, and today, to this date, there is a Tory who is the chief blender, and then you have Mr. Kojimizu-san, who is the master blender. So it is very much about a legacy.
Well,
so
they're doing it very well. If we want to go and visit,
yes,
we?
Absolutely. And I think that I mean, you have my contact, and anytime anyone wants to go visit, they can definitely get in touch with you, and I will put them in touch with an English tour at the distillery.
Very good. And that's both for Yamazaki and Hakushu.
Absolutely. The one that's really easy to get to if you're in Tokyo, this is about an hour-and-a-half train ride to Hakushu, which is actually an amazing train ride.
Bullet train?
Yeah. No, it's it's faster than any other train, but it's not a bullet train. But you actually want to take in some of, because you're going up in the mountains.
Yeah.
So, and you're going by vineyards. So it's pretty cool. Yamazaki is actually only a 15-minute train ride from Kyoto. So if you're in Kyoto or Osaka, it's 15 minutes each way.
Right.
It's beautiful, and actually you get off the train and you walk down past the train tracks, then cross the train tracks into Yamazaki. So.
And it's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
For us, we feel extremely lucky that Europe is not getting it all. So thanks a lot. Thanks for helping.
Fabian, thank you.
Promoting it.
Thanks to Brandy Library.
Well, we're in love with it.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Cheers. Cheers.